Now they can hear you guys.
Yay!
Okay, everything should be on there. All right.
There it goes.
Wait, one thing is missing. I hate you, OBS. What's going on here?
I guess I'll start recording then.
It's just not picking up the Discord for some reason. I'll figure it out. Give me a sec.
You have to put it on the window, I guess.
Oh, it's not picking up your face.
I have two displays.
Yeah, you need to have
One sec.
You need to make another one that'll show your.
There we go. Now it'll show up.
There you go.
Look at you with the transition of the one layout to the next layout.
I told him, my fucking OBS Pro over here just doesn't work when I want it to. That's all.
Is coming up in the world right now.
Look at this! Look at this god tier. 3 different things going at once here. Actually, I need to.
Coming up in the world right now.
I need to real quick change this chat real quick. Watch this OBS on the go magic right now, people.
I know.
Okay, an OBS master here. All right.
Mastery
all right. Here we go. We're starting from now, all right? What's going on, everyone? ActiveSyn here, and we're back for another week of Team Red Talks Nintendo. And yes, we've upgraded. We're using Discord video, Google Hangouts. Get the hell out of here! We're done with you. We're doing Discord video, baby. So let's we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but first we're gonna introduce our other panelists here. So Nia, why don't you go first?
What is good, everybody? It is your girl Nia, TheVideoGamHer, and yeah, we're back for another episode of Team Red Talks Nintendo. Are we doing the what we've been gaming and all that?
Yeah, we'll do that after the intros.
All right, but yeah, and like Kuuppon said in the chat, let's go ahead and get these likes up, man. Let's go ahead and get these likes up because that helps the podcast out. It helps people find us in the recommended section. So yeah, man, hit them likes. Get the likes going, people.
You know what? I'm gonna pop this out so I'll have access to see the chat. Sorry, Kuuppon, I gotta cover your face.
I don't care. Do what you gotta do.
All right.
Well, I ain't even on camera.
Exactly. All right, Kuuppon.
Aw, so I just got finished doing my little stream earlier, some Overwatch Halloween a bit. But yeah, it's great to be here. We got some topics to talk about, a lot of bull effery, so you know, let's get on in there. Let's do it.
All right, and of course, ActiveSyn here, and yeah, it's been a good week. Lot of stuff to talk about Nintendo World. As you can see, I have like 20 tabs open. We're gonna power through all of these. But before we do that, let's talk about the games we've been playing this week. Who wants to go first?
Let's see. As far as you want to go, Kuuppon?
No, you go. You go first. Go.
As far as games I've been playing this week, man, can y'all believe that I haven't touched Dauntless once this week?
Golf Story, maybe?
I've been playing Golf Story.
From one addiction to another.
I know.
One to another.
Like, ever since Golf Story came out last week?
Yeah.
Ever since Golf Story came out, that's literally all I've been playing. It's crazy. Like, the thing about Golf Story is it's one of those games where it's just a really chill game, but it's like a lot of stuff to do. And like, I'm on my way to be like a pro golf player right now, my boy. You feel me? And I'm almost there. I'm grinding it out. And it's pretty dope, man. I like Golf Story a whole lot. So yeah, that's all I've pretty much been playing, to be honest.
All right. So I take it it's a good game.
Yeah.
Kuuppon, what you been playing?
I've been addicted to none other than Stardew fucking Valley. Because that's the shit. I've restarted this game 4 fucking different times, and I still have all 4 of my saved, my little saved formats and stuff, because each one is different and has something that happened that was different. So I like the fact that the game is always different no matter what you do. So I got one right now where I'm like over millions of fucking dollars in my first freaking 2 days. Cheats. I used cheats on one of them. The other one I managed to.
Oh, we got hip hop Kuuppon up in here.
But I don't have to review do this shit, so there's a difference.
Oh.
But,
bang bang, shots fired.
bang bang. So I used cheats for that one. The other one I didn't use a cheat, but I managed to find like a very rare freaking fruit or whatever that I planted, and it makes me a gajillion dollars of money. So I was just like, so I really enjoy this game. It has a lot of different aspects to it that you can go about it any old kind of way. And obviously earlier today I just got finished streaming some Overwatch because the Halloween event has went live.
Oh.
I probably will end up doing the Halloween event for Paragon tomorrow because, you know, shit's happening and all of a sudden, son, and I can't keep up. Fuck. But I got a PC now.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do
let's all just take a moment to congratulate Kuuppon for building her very first PC all by herself. And
Thank you.
so yes, I think that deserves a clap. She has ascended to greatness. She isn't a toe dipper like a real gamer. She isn't a toe dipper like a drone crusher. So yeah. Or retro bros. Oh my god. So yeah, that's pretty impressive stuff here, people. So as you can see, how difficult was it to build a PC, Kuuppon?
It actually really is not difficult at fucking all, you guys. At all. You just need to get the parts. Go on YouTube. Google it. They will show you exactly what you need to put together. Put it to fucking getter. It's like a puzzle, and you're done. A couple of little, you know, tweaks here and there because, you know, shit happens, but it's not hard.
Yes.
It really isn't.
Glorious. And I have been playing the fucking god tier Cuphead game, and
I can't wait to get to that.
Cuphead is amazing, y'all. $20. I have not had that much fun in a long time. It's one of the hardest games I've played since Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. But I'm a beast, so I beat that game in like 2 days. But like seeing people out here struggling, and it's funny watching people struggle. I saw Real struggling hard. I saw Erica. How do you say it? Erica DeWitts or whatever. She just beat the game yesterday. Me and Unforgiven were watching her stream. Oh, she's a beast, man. She's a beast. But like I'm more of a beast, I guess. But Kofi beat everybody. That dude is so goddamn good at games. But yeah, Cuphead, amazing game, guys. Check it out, Xbox, PC. If you're getting it on PC, I would suggest getting it on Steam because the Windows 10 version has a lot of problems. One guy, J Main, he bought it on Windows 10 store and he lost his save file like 3 times. Yeah, and it has major frame rate issues on the Windows 10 version for some reason. The Steam version, absolutely fine. Fantastic game. That's what I've been playing. I just picked up Risky Boots Revenge or whatever. It's a Shantae Half Genie Hero DLC, so I'll be playing that today and tomorrow. I feel maybe the next couple days I'll be playing that. But other than that, not too much. Just been playing Cuphead over and over and over. Fantastic game. But let's jump into the news. So first we have Axiom Verge. Dev of Axiom Verge is happy with the day one Switch sales. Says the port was one of his easiest ports. And that is good news. He said on Twitter here, the Switch Axiom Verge seems to be selling quite well, even considering that all the other games were releasing today. There was like, what, like 5-6 games releasing alongside this game? So
yeah, a lot of games came out.
A lot of games came out that week, and this one's like a Metroid-style game, so it's the closest thing we have to Metroid on the Switch at the moment, so that's a good sign. People are buying it. And he's pretty happy with the sales. He said, did anything special have to be done for when porting to the Switch version? He says one of the easiest ports he's ever done. So that's cool.
Because he probably ported it straight from the PC.
Probably.
Apparently, I remember some developers, I think even maybe Miyamoto and maybe some of the guys at NVIDIA were saying the same thing, that porting to the Switch right from their PC is easier.
Yeah, it's designed like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably why, because I feel like the reason why we're getting so many of these, like, even though a lot of it right now is indies, I feel like a lot of indie games have been coming in influx. Like it's been like
even though they're indies, the turnaround is really fast.
That's what I'm saying. Like the quantity and how fast they're getting them out.
Because like what we're seeing now is like every week we see like 2, 3, 4 games just get announced out of nowhere, and they're coming out like, oh, it's coming out next week. Oh, it's coming out next week. Like what the hell?
Exactly. Like they're getting these games out fast, so it must be much easier to port than
than we're being led to believe by EA and whatnot. And one of those mystery games that's just coming out next week. Let's talk about that one. That is Wolverblade. You like that transition? Wolverblade launching on October 12th. Official Wolverblade launches next Thursday, which is this Thursday on the 12th. Oh my god. Stupidly excited post to go with it. Blah, blah, blah. This is a side-scrolling hack-and-slash game. This is one of the more interesting indie games coming to the Switch, and it's a exclusive or timed exclusive to the Switch as far as I understand. Looks like a fun game, so I would look out for that one, guys. I think there's going to be several other games launching that same day. Huh?
I'm sorry. I went to their website and they got all these like posts of pictures of like, oh, we're releasing next Thursday, and they're just like surprise pictures and shit on their website. Click on it.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, let me see if there's some pictures of this game.
Gamer Nick said, "I wonder if the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild will ever be put into the Switch."
That's the yeah.
Ain't nobody care about that thing.
It's the same version, though. It's crazy.
Will ever get ported to the Switch? Okay, well, yeah, that's one game coming out. Make sure to check that one out, guys. It looks pretty cool. Another game coming out relatively soon is Gear.Club. This is the realistic racing sim game. It is a cell phone game, but it is being ported over to the Switch, and the best thing is no microtransactions. They have local multiplayer. They're going to have an FPS and resolution bump over the cell phone versions, and they're trying to find a way around the lack of digital triggers. I'm very interested in how they're going to figure that out. But it says here, first and foremost, there is a major economic difference. The game will be a premium, which means you get the full experience after purchase, no microtransactions. You'll be able to enjoy local multiplayer playing in split screen for up to 4 friends. And we're aiming for 1080p docked mode and 720p handheld. We guarantee a minimum of 30 FPS across the board. We're simulating analog on the digital triggers by converting pressures through the software gauge, and I don't know what that means. But what do you guys? You guys interested in this game?
I'm
not big on racing games, but I'm glad that they don't have microtransactions. It looks like they're putting, all their efforts forward to make it work. So I'm glad for them.
Yeah, they don't list the price here. I'm assuming it's $20 or less. I'll just go ahead and say this. It's not $60 and comes with loot box, so it's better than Forza 7. Bang bang. Let's go to the next game.
Before we move on from Gear.Club, I remember we talked about this a couple of podcasts ago when it was first announced for the Switch. And one of the things that I know that some people were worried about is how the Switch seems to be getting interest from people who develop for mobile platforms. And the way that a lot of mobile apps work and mobile games work is like their pay model. So I'm glad that they really explicitly said that this will not have microtransactions, because I know that that's something that a lot of people were worried about.
Don't you find it ironic how the cell phone game developer is preaching no microtransactions while the AAA developers are starting microtransactions? Don't you just think that's funny? I think that's hilarious.
That's hilarious, because you would think they would be like, oh yeah,
they'd be all about it, yeah.
But I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess they don't see that being a necessity, because they're not making, Hollywood blockbuster type movie-esque video games to try to.
But yeah, it's good. It's good that they're keeping all the content on there, so I'm happy. I think, and as long as they get the graphics looking nice, they gotta fix that frame rate. 30's not high enough, but let's go.
Yeah.
Retro City Rampage is getting a special pre-order for the physical edition, and this is actually one of the cooler physical editions I've seen in a while. You get, of course, the disc, which looks nice. You get a little keychain. You get 3D glasses, and you get I guess that's a book or like a manual or something.
It looks like a little art book. Oh my god, it looks like a Super Mario style.
Yeah, it's exactly like Super Mario. That's pretty funny. And then you get a cartridge. So I guess this is the music CD, right?
Yeah, that's the music CD.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good for a collector's edition. And I'm assuming all this shit actually fits inside the cartridge, the case here.
Probably
does.
But it probably comes in just like a big box or something, like usually collector's edition.
Maybe.
A little slightly little bigger box or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
might be interested in that. I don't know.
This game is like the older Grand Theft Auto games. So if you like those kind of top-down, run around the city and destroy stuff games, you probably enjoy this. You guys ever played this game?
I haven't played
No,
it.
I
wanna check it
haven't.
out.
I really don't have a desire to play it. Like I would rather just wait for Shakedown Hawaii.
That's what I'm looking for. Shakedown Hawaii
Oh,
looks so
yeah,
fun.
Shakedown Hawaii.
Retro City Rampage reminds me of GTA back when it was good. God damn.
Oh, snap.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next one, and that's Stardew Valley. Kuuppon's gonna like this news. This is pretty amazing. Stardew Valley is #1 on the Switch in every single market.
That's
So
crazy.
in North America, UK, I guess D's, what's D, Dutch?
Is it Denmark?
I
Denmark?
think that's Denmark or something.
I'm gonna assume this one is New Zealand, Australia,
Yeah,
Mexico,
Australia,
and
Mexico,
South Africa. That's pretty
I
amazing.
know those Stardew Valley guys.
It's number 3.
Wait,
Yeah, the only one it's the only one that's not #1 is in France. They're #3 over there, but still, like, this is pretty impressive.
Damn French people.
We'll get back to the French later. They're one of the topics a little later, but impressive. The game is doing well. It does it well on every platform that it hits on, so it's good to see. That I think this is reasonably priced for what you get, because there's some other games dropping on the eShop that I think are outrageously priced. I don't think we have time to talk about those games, but this one for I think it's like $15 or something. That's a very good game.
Yeah, you get a lot. It's got a lot.
Kuuppon, you want to inform the people of Stardew since you're currently addicted to it?
It has an addicting nature, sure, but I can get myself away from it surprisingly, which is cool. But yeah, the game has a lot of content in it. There's so much to freaking do. You can either just be completely a farmer. You could go out and do adventure stuff, you know, and go fight monsters and shit, and you know, you could go around and scavenge for things, or you can go and unlock. I don't know how many fucking achievements they have in this game, but my god, there's a lot. I had to look online. I was like, what? Who the fuck is running around looking to get all the achievements on here? I don't know if anybody's even 100%ed it, because it's still very low on PC, and now you got Switch, so it's like nobody. I don't think anybody has 100%ed this game yet. I don't know. But it's a really fun game. It's a really fun game. So it's really reminiscent of the what is it, the moon, whatever the fuck.
Harvest Moon.
Yeah, the Harvest Moon and stuff. And so you can date.
But most people say it shits on Harvest Moon.
It does. It shits so hard on Harvest Moon.
Isn't this game made by one guy?
One guy. It is very embarrassing.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
One guy can.
The
make
fact that not only the fact that he made the game, but doesn't he publish and port the games himself as well?
Not sure, but if he does,
that's
good
nuts.
on him.
Yeah.
This man is making so much money.
He's gotta be, yeah.
He's making so much money. But you know,
he probably went and bought a farm.
In real life. I would go buy a farm.
And I would call it Stardew.
Yeah, why not? Well, let's move on from Stardew before we get stuck cattling or like farming or whatever we have to do. Let's go and talk about the Nielsen reports. They have done a report on the most anticipated holiday games for 2017, and Nintendo is killing it in this list.
Oh wow!
So, for multi-platform games, 99% of people want Call of Duty World War II. That is odd, because I thought the pre-orders were really low on this game.
I haven't heard any.
I haven't heard nothing about this.
Apparently they're out there. 95% people want Assassin's Creed Origins. 90% want Star Wars Battlefront 2. We're going to talk about that game later. And 80% of people want WWE 2K18, which is on Switch. And then you go to Xbox exclusives. 85% want Forza Motorsport 7. 85% want Gran Turismo Sport. And for PC, there's Age of Empires, Fallout 4, and LA Noire. LA Noire is multi-plat, but whatever. Oh, the VR one, okay. Those are a little lower. They got 92 for Age of Empires, so that's cool. But Switch, Nintendo in general has a lot of games on here. So Mario Odyssey, obviously, 96. Pokemon Ultra Moon has 99. Ultra Sun is only 97. So I guess people like the Moon one more for some reason. Mario Luigi Superstar Saga 96 and Mario Party 93%. I'm still salty that game's not on the Switch.
I'm still salty about it.
But yeah, there's a lot of Nintendo games here in the holiday season, so that is good.
That's crazy.
And let's see, how many people they pull for this thing? So they got 6,000 people. It's pretty cool. Like, it looks like everybody's gonna be having a good holiday season, for the most part anyways. I'm still shocked by that Call of Duty number though. That's 99.
That's crazy. I feel like somebody had to fudge those Call of Duty numbers.
I don't know. I just haven't been hearing much about it. Like
I've not been hearing much about that either.
Nobody in our neck of the woods have been talking about it at all. Like,
yeah.
So, usually you hear it by word of mouth, but it's like it's crickets over here.
Yeah, I don't know. Most people that played the beta didn't seem all that excited about it, but whatever, we'll see.
I don't know.
It's Call of Duty. It's the biggest franchise, so it is what
casuals, I guess.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but I think the hardcore gamers kind of losing their love for
losing it a little bit.
They've moved on. I think it's more the casual crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can move on to Yoshida. Sony's Yoshida applauds the Nintendo Switch for contributing to the revitalization of the game industry as a whole. Look at that picture. Look at that picture. My God, could they have not found a more flattering picture of this man?
How did you choose that?
I don't know.
This is why I like Yoshida. He has no problem like applauding and praising a company when they do something well, and this is why I don't like Reggie. When another company does something good, Reggie, instead of congratulating them, what does Reggie do? He shits on them.
He gives them the side eye.
He gives them side eye. He says some dumb shit like, "Oh, our games are fun." Like, what the fuck? What does that have to do with anything?
That's fine and dandy, but you can't.
I can't stand Reggie.
Someone?
But it says here, this following comes from Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studio Shuhei Yoshida. When asked about the Switch, Yoshida explained that it's good to have various companies providing fun games with different approaches. See, he can call your games fun, Reggie. Why can't you call his games fun? This leads to further revitalization of the gaming industry as a whole. The Switch continues to sell. It appears that sales of home consoles as a whole are also growing. Thanks to that, publishers have more options to offer content, and users can enjoy a variety of games to suit their lifestyle. What do you guys think? Yoshida, praising the Switch.
Way to be a sport. Way to be a sport, man. I enjoy that. That's wonderful. Hey, Reggie, can you be a sport sometime?
Yeah, you know, like Reggie, some of these ambassadors out here, they could be a little nicer to the other companies. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But let's Lena, you got anything to say about Yoshida?
She went.
I think she's gone. But I'm gonna assume that she thinks Yoshida's amazing. Let's move on. So, GameStop, people, if you're looking for one of these guys right here, oh, you can't see it. Super NES Classic. If you're looking for one of these bad boys, GameStop locations are getting SNES Classics restocked this week. So GameStop's Twitter said the SNES Classic is arriving back in stores this week. Check with your local store for availability. So if you're one of the people who could not get an SNES Classic on day one, keep looking, guys, because it looks like Nintendo is actually keeping to their word and are restocking these things, which I'm truly shocked, because I did not think they would.
Too. I figured after that first run, that's it. I'm SOL. I ain't getting.
Yeah, but it looks like they're gonna have a steady stream of these. That's the benefit of them using the exact same innards as the NES Classic. So I guess they have the manufacturing down. So because the inside of the SNES Classic is exactly the same as the NES Classic.
Same thing, yeah.
Because I saw Spawnwave take it away.
Exactly when are they gonna be?
Next week they're coming back in stock.
They say this week.
Or sorry, this week. This week. So they posted it today. So it's sometime this week.
Because I was trying to get one.
It'll probably be Thursdays, because they usually restock on Thursdays.
They stock on Thursdays?
Thursdays, and so they might not put it... depending on your local GameStop, they might not put it in the system until Friday. So check on Thursday to see if they have it, if they already have them in their listing. If not, then I would just come in on Fridays. Those are the best days to check.
Because I know I was trying to get one when
your previous GameStop employee here, your insider, so just
Kuuppon's an insider here. And just to show you guys a little scale here, this is how big it is.
That's crazy.
That's how big my hand is. So you can actually literally hold it.
Game card.
It's crazy, and like
the game.
I love how they have this, and then you can pull this out, and that's where the controllers go. So that's really cool. It's really funny because like,
oh my god, it's adorable.
It's funny because like, look at the size of the controller compared to the device.
It's crazy.
It's the same size. Like exactly the same size.
It's like the size of the old school one, isn't it?
It is the old school one. It just has a different connector.
Oh,
but the actual controller is the same as the old ones.
Oh, nice.
Down the scene.
And on the back, it's just micro USB and an HDMI. There's not much to it. Like, it's really, really light. But it's a cool little thing. I like having it on my desk. But yeah,
if I
this
get one,
week.
I'm gonna color mine for Famicom colors. Fuck that ugly ass gray shit.
Why don't you just import one?
Yeah, you
No.
could just import one.
I'm just gonna buy one.
Because the Famicom one looks different
I
too.
want the purple and green because that's what I grew up
That's the
with.
one I grew up with, so that's the one I always wanted. Like this thing to me means way more than the NES Classic ever did. That thing to me was kind of, I didn't really care. This is my baby. I grew up with this. If I never had this growing up, if I didn't have this when I was 5 years old, had my first console, I wouldn't be playing games today. So, most important thing I've ever owned in my life. But let's move on. We're gonna go back to the SNES Classic. Has officially been hacked. So you know how Nintendo told you you could only get 21 games with this thing? Haha! Nice try, Nintendo. We gotcha. It's been hacked, and you can fit about 75% of the SNES entire lineup works with this hack.
That's
So.
great.
I'm gonna get my Turtles in Time because I love that game, and we don't have it on the SNES Classic, so I'm excited about that. Donkey Kong Country 2. There's a plethora of classic games that didn't make the cut for this console, but yeah, you can definitely sort this out. Obviously, when you're hacking a console, there are risks, and you may brick it, and that is on you. So don't get mad at me if you try this and you mess it up. That's on you. I'm just letting you know that this is something that's available.
Could you imagine though? Oh my god. That make me want to risk it for real.
I might. If I can get
It's
through-
fairly safe, but like it's a
but some
precaution.
people,
I have
you
to
know,
say it.
Yeah, somebody might mess up.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that ain't your fault. You decided to do it. You should know the risks involved. You fuck your
Yeah.
shit up. That's it.
Like,
It-
imagine playing like those old games with that controller again. Like,
Yeah,
oh
exactly.
My god. Crazy.
I'm definitely gonna be trying this out probably on the weekend. I don't know if I'll have time to do it throughout the week, but I will get this thing all hacked up and play around with some games that I love. Because it has Mega Man X1, but I want X2 and X3. Oh, whatever. They got my money. I bought 3 of these freaking things.
I'm just saying. I know.
Yeah, but so I guess it's just a licensing issue. They couldn't afford to keep it at a low price and have all the games or whatever. That's their problem, not mine. Let's move on. This is an interesting bit of news. WWE superstar Bayley went to a meet and greet at Nintendo New York. If you guys don't know, Bayley is one of the top superstars in the women's division, and she is there representing WWE with their partnership with Nintendo for WWE coming to the Switch.
The friendly one.
Yeah, she's the one that the kids love. I cannot play the video because we're gonna get copyright striked, but she's one of the top divas, and the little girls love her, and she's like the girl version of John Cena. Think of her that way. And which they also had John Cena help out with. Well, not in this specific show, but John Cena has done some stuff with Nintendo towards the Switch. So that's pretty cool. It's good to see they're partnering up with WWE directly. The WWE version is delayed on the Switch. It's coming out in fall. It's not coming out this month, but it's probably November-ish. We'll see. But it's cool. Cool to see they're doing stuff like this.
I get to see the video though.
Yes. What do you guys think of this? Nintendo partnering with WWE.
Same thing that we talked about with John Cena, man. Like, it's good that they're getting out there and they're getting this in people's mind space. You know what I'm saying? Like, the best way to market this kind of stuff is to kind of get into that arena. No pun intended. Like, if you want to market WWE, you got to go to where the wrestling fans are, and that's smart marketing. So good for them.
Tis true. Kuuppon, you have any thoughts on this?
Same thing. Not too. It's not. I'm not a big fan of WWE, but you know, it's great that they're getting out there. They're doing partnerships and all that good stuff. So hey, it's for the kids.
It's definitely better than trying to market the Wii U at Pottery Barn. Like,
oh my god,
actually did happen.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
That was a very sore spot. That's when you knew the Wii U was done.
That never made sense to me, but whatever. Let's talk about one of There's a person in our chat loves this company, loves this franchise a lot, and we're gonna talk about this company and how terrible they are. Sega details the process of bringing Sonic Forces to the Switch. They talk about the resolution, the frame rate, and their perceived challenges. So, coming from DualShockers interview with Sonic team head Takahashi Izuka, Sonic Forces producer Shun Nakamura, director Morio Kishimoto, lead programmer Hikori Tokonga, nope, I said that wrong, and art director Yoshitaka Miura. God damn, that's a lot of people. The team was committed to port the game to Switch from the very beginning, even before they knew what the system was. This team had a deadline by which the game needed to be done, and mysterious hardware needed to be worked on. What helped make development really smooth was that the team was using its own proprietary engine. That's #1 reason why they're going to have problems. The team has a lot of control on what the final game is going to look like, and they did their best to make sure of that. The game has the same overall look and feel no matter what platform it's on, but the resolution is lower on the Switch. Work on the Switch version has started after the other platforms. Reason #2. When the PS4 and Xbox One versions were in alpha stage, the Switch version only had one stage running correctly. A lot of the development for the Switch version came right at the end. Even around the time of E3, the development team wasn't yet sure if they'd make it in time. The team was managed to really polish the game for the Switch, running the final stages of development. The game was first developed on PC and then made sure it works well on all other platforms. To match the performance of the Switch, the game required dedicated tweaks while the graphics run. This part is funny. While the graphics run at 30 frames per second, the controls run at 60. Resolution will be 720p on both docked and handheld modes. Sonic Forces is a very fast game. Okay.
And that's a very fast development because
So,
they didn't slow down for shit.
Where do you want to start on this one?
You take it, because I am on.
Alright, let's go with the anomaly here. This is the first time I've ever heard this in my life. A game runs at 30 frames per second, but controls at 60.
That makes no sense.
That makes no
How is
sense.
that a thing? Is that a thing? Can that be a thing?
It sounds like they're making stuff up, because that's not a thing. Otherwise, we would have seen it done on every game on the PlayStation and Xbox by now. The only reason... I don't understand it at all. Like, I get the game being at 720p in handheld mode, because the screen's 720p, that checks out. They started development months after the Xbox and PS4 version, so this is a rush port. Obviously, it's running at half the frame rate. And docked mode is not even at 1080p, let alone 900p. Like Mario Odyssey, which we saw at E3 running at 720p, and then the next time we saw Mario Odyssey, shocker, it got raised to 900p. But not Sega, not Sonic. Laziness. Heresy. I'm not. This game is garbage as far as I'm concerned on the Switch.
I mean, this is under the radar for me. I was kind of excited for it back in the day, but I'm just like over it.
I was actually intrigued to see what they were going to be doing with Sonic Forces, because like, oh my god, are they actually trying to make like Sonic good again? But like, I feel like the more that I hear about Sonic Forces, the less I care. Like, yeah. I mean, I already didn't really care. I had an inkling of interest just because it looked like they were going a different direction with it. But
I think we're gonna realize real quick why this game is launching at $40 instead of $60.
Yeah, that doesn't.
It kind of reminds me of another failed 3D Sonic, but I mean, I hope.
It also kind of reminds me of Recore. But
you know what?
I don't know, but you
Sonic.
know, you get to make your own.
I'm hoping for the best, guys, because like don't think I'm just some random Sonic hater. I got Sonic Mania here on my Switch. I have no problem buying Sonic for the Switch. I'll just show you here because some people don't believe me for some reason.
I feel like the best Sonic can do is 2D at this point. But I mean, Sonic Forces could surprise us.
I got him. when a game is on par, I have no
I would
problem.
prefer it to surprise
But
me.
I feel like if you're a Sonic fan,
There should be
like
some
Sonic
concern.
Mania is probably as far as you should go.
Yeah, Sonic Forces, at least on the Switch, Sonic Forces seems like a dud. If you enjoy Sonic, you know firsthand that Sonic plays quick, real fast. That's the entire basis of the gameplay, and there's no point playing a version with half the frame rate. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're one of these people that say you can't tell the difference between frame rate. Stop lying to yourself. If there's a version with 60 FPS, that's the version to get. Sorry. Can they patch it later? Absolutely. They're obviously under time constraints. They've said it in here that they're in time constraints. I don't think it's a hardware limitation. It's more of a time limitation. Now, if they patch this and fix the frame rate later, pick it up later. I'm just saying, as of right now, don't buy an inferior version of a game.
I feel like if you're gonna base your game around going fast, then the game needs to run fast.
Yeah.
However, I will say this though. I will say this. I'm not gonna completely trash on this game. If the time constraints for this game are, you know, as bad as they're saying it is, or as bad as they're making it out to be in this article, I will be surprised if the 30 frames per second is consistent and at least, you know, it doesn't drop. It's like, okay, in that case, I can actually, you know, give them kudos because they at least got the game up and running and they turned it from a hot mess to a game that's actually playable.
Well,
But
do you
I
guys,
don't prefer to play a fast game.
do you guys feel they should have delayed the Switch version?
No, because I feel like
kinda do.
there was a lot of bleed over between Sega fans and Nintendo fans, and the best thing that you could do is just bring them all out at the same time. Like, people who really want this game are gonna get it regardless.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the majority of the Sonic fan base is on Nintendo, so why would you want to give them a crap version?
Very
Right.
true.
I would say, in my opinion, like, as a former Sonic fan, like, way former, because this shit has gotten crazy, but anyway, me personally, if I want a Sonic game, I would rather you take the time required to make the game run smoothly, to make it look smooth, to make it, you know, to make the experience as best as possible, and if you have to delay it for a few more months, then fucking nay, do it. Most Sonic fans are on Nintendo, you know, are on this with the Switch and everything. So that's where most of the money's gonna come from. You don't want to fuck it up by making that version be the worst and people be mad, and then you make no money because you're not gonna make anything on the other consoles. There ain't nobody playing
like
Sonic on no Xbox and no PlayStation, like, at all. So
well, not to the level of the
not to that
Switch
level,
version,
but like, you want to make sure that your biggest
you wanna cater to your fan base. Like, they're mostly on Nintendo. I just want to address something in the chat here. Yes, I am aware there are some Sonic games that run at 30 FPS. That has nothing to do with this game. This game runs at 60 frames per second. Like, get out of here. Damage control.
You're getting a 30 FPS game that runs 60 on
And
other
the only
other
reason
consoles.
you're getting it running like this is because of time constraints. It's not because they built the game to run worse on the Switch on purpose. Like, get out of here with that shit. Okay, let's move on. Unless you guys have something else to say about this dead-ass company.
Nah, we're good.
Alright, fuck Sonic, let's go. Let's move on. Nintendo discusses the lessons learned from the Wii U and how they have paved the way for Switch success. That's a weird little picture. Who is this? This is Bill Trinan they're talking to. When you're coming off the launch of the Wii U system, and then your next hardware launch is the Switch, it's a challenge to know how many we should be ordering. What is the demand gonna be? If you look at the Wii U hardware system, the system menu itself, the time that it took to boot up the system and get into gameplay, was something that was a frustration for a lot of players early on. That's true. That thing took like 2 minutes to turn on the early days.
Oh my god.
And actually became a hindrance. With the Switch being something that you take around with you, it was made very important that you should play games instantly. That to me is an example of a direct lesson learned from the Wii U era, where Nintendo said that's something we need to zero in on and make a dramatic improvement on. And that's absolutely true. This thing is lightning quick.
Yeah, it's fast.
There's little to no delay whatsoever when you turn it on and open a game. It's instantaneous. They did a fantastic job with that. This comes from Nintendo's Doug Bowser. We had a glut What the hell's a glut? I guess that means a lot of game releases up front for the Wii U, and then kind of went dry for quite some time. That's an understatement. From the first party perspective at least, we were very intentional and deliberate about the Switch. We launched with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which obviously was incredibly successful, drove hardware, and brought a bunch of people to the franchise. And then followed that with Mario Kart, straight through the series of games we've released since then. Our goal is to delight a lot of players. We want people to have success to our new hardware, to our content. Access to our hardware, to our content, and to have great experiences. So we actively read the market and try to understand what those trends are and make sure we're adjusting accordingly. We are responding, we're listening. I like Doug Bowser. I like this guy. Since he's come into the picture, he's done big things.
Yeah, he's doing really good things for the marketing department. But I like Bill too, though. I think Bill is a good face for Nintendo right now. Because Bill is especially getting in really, really good with the esports scene.
Yeah.
And he's helping a lot of that stuff come to fruition. So I'm happy for Bill too. He went from just Miyamoto's translator to like a major player in Nintendo.
Oh, he's way better than Reggie.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about this though is I see that Nintendo has learned a lot.
Oh yeah,
from the Switch.
definitely.
There's a lot of great things for the Switch that I like and that they've done better, just as a company in general, in comparison to what they did with the Wii U. For like example, the marketing, the form factor of the Switch is just sleek and beautiful, and
yes,
a lot of things that they're doing with the Switch is really, really good. However, there's still some mistakes from the Wii U that I still feel like that they have not learned from per se, or not here yet, or we haven't heard any word about. Like I know, we all love the Switch, and we're of no assumptions that there's nothing bad about the Switch. Like there's definitely some improvements that could be made, but I would like for them to address those as well. Like we still don't know what the online stuff is going to be about. We still don't know where they're going to go moving forward with this whole chat and lobby system, because we know that the phone thing is pretty much a flop at this point. So I really want to know what is their plan going forward, considering that fact. I want to know what the heck they're going to do about storage and cloud saving and all that kind of stuff. Like there's still some things I feel like they need to discover and relay to their consumers just to kind of put us at ease. But I won't take away from the fact that they have learned and done a lot to make sure that the Switch doesn't fall into the same kind of mistakes as the Wii U. So
yeah, like we've talked about this before. Like the best thing about the Wii U failing is that they can learn a lot from it. Yeah. And we've seen a lot of that. They learned a lot from marketing, obviously. They learned a lot about making a device that feels premium, because the Wii U felt like a toy. This feels like a high-end tablet, which it is. They learned a lot about pacing of their games. They learned there's a lot of first-party big hitter games all coming out like a month apart. Smart. We didn't have that with the Wii U. There's stuff obviously they still need to work on, like the online. They're doing it. It's coming. I'm not worried about that because they pushed it back to fix it, so that's totally cool. They obviously worked on getting third parties on board. We have Bethesda. We haven't had Bethesda since like the NES, so a lot of big changes.
Working on that.
They're doing a lot.
I don't know why Bill Trinen only said they zeroed in on making an improvement on the OS. Like that's a weird thing to focus on, I guess.
That is a weird thing, but you know what? But to be fair, to his credit, that was a huge thing during the Wii U era.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the
that's
thing
true.
that people complained about a lot, and that's the reason why they did the update for the quick the quick menu, like how when you first.
Oh yeah, that made a huge difference actually.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they did that, is because like they knew how slow it was to boot up, and a lot of people
painfully slow.
Yeah, like because sometimes my boyfriend and we still use the Wii U to like watch Hulu and stuff like that, and it's I forget going from the snappy OS of the Switch to going to the Wii U. It's like pain.
It's night and day.
It's night and day. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're doing really good things with the Switch. A lot of stuff about the Switch I like, and you can see how they're direct improvements on the Wii U, and I'm very happy about that because like I don't like the Wii U at all. But let's move on to France. France, Ansem of Pants, France. this is really funny. And we get to make fun of the Wii U. So the Switch sells nearly half of what the Wii U sold in its entire lifetime within 7 months. So France has always been a Nintendo-friendly territory, but even they didn't want the Wii U. Nintendo's last console managed to move 832,000 units within 5 years. Now here's the really crazy part. In France, the Switch has moved 390k units. That's well over a third of the Wii U's installed base in France, and is quickly catching up to half of that figure. When the holiday season is said and done, the Switch should be past the halfway point. Wow, that, like, if that doesn't speak miles to you about what they've done compared to the Wii U generation, I don't know how else to put it to you, because that speaks volumes.
That says a lot.
That
like,
says a lot.
Hell?
Absolutely unbelievable.
Again,
What you guys think about this? The French love the Switch.
They love the Switch, but they couldn't stand the Wii. And the Switch is almost about to bypass it. Like, who knows? Within a year, they'll probably beat that and be done with it. If they keep, if Nintendo keeps up their supplies like they promised. So.
Yep.
Yeah, this is good. This is good news. At least that lets us know, you know, France is like, okay, they're on board with this Switch idea, so that's good. Nintendo's getting the word out. They got people's attention, so this is great. I like it. It's good news.
I feel like the best thing that Nintendo could do is make sure that they also gain a footing in like the Western market, and that includes Europe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, you know, they always do well in Japan for the most part, especially with their handhelds and all that kind of stuff.
That market I don't have to worry
they
about
still
too much.
do pretty well in Japan, even still, because, you know, that's a home
base
brand, and they support their brands over there in Japan. But one of the things that they really need to do is make sure that they get footing in the West, because we already know in America now, it used to be Xbox, but even now, you know, Sony is the dominating brand
dominant
over
here. Yeah.
Sony is the dominating brand over in Europe. So if Nintendo is getting more into those territories, especially, because we already know they're gonna do good in Japan, and especially with the Switch, regardless.
The cool thing about the Switch and the PS4, like, they run parallel.
They can coexist.
Yeah, they don't actually affect each other, which is really interesting.
Really interesting.
And I love that.
'Cause it's not like Xbox and Sony. Because like if you have a PlayStation, you don't need an Xbox. If you have an Xbox, for the most part, you don't need a PlayStation. Like, they have so many games that are similar, but like when you have a PlayStation, you can get a Switch and you have like almost an entire library of different games.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's like I think that's the thing that's really gonna work to the Switch's benefit, and the reason why every month we see these NPD numbers, and the Switch and the PlayStation 4 are right there together, because they're so different. They offer so many different experiences, but they're both exciting in their own way. If Nintendo can continue that trend through Europe, and especially over here in the North American region, they're gold.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about another region coming up real soon that could be a game changer for them. Big time game changer. France, good job. You picked the right console. Let's go. Supply chain sources claim Nintendo has upped Switch production to 2 million units a month. And we got the Ghost of Iwata and Miyamoto.
I love how it's his ghost. Aww.
The Ghost of Iwata and Miyamoto printing money along with the Switch gang. So, following info comes from sources along the upstream supply chain of the Switch. Nintendo has recently raised its orders for the Switch to 2 million units a month. This is due to the product's surging demand. Switch gang on the run. Nintendo is expected to be able to achieve an annual shipment target of 20 million units in 2017. Do you remember at the beginning of the year when we heard 20 million and we didn't believe them for a second?
Yeah, right? Crazy.
Switch shortages thus far are mainly due to tight suppliers on key components including DRAM, thanks Apple, OEMs such as Pegatron, that's a cool name, Pegatron Technology and Winstron are trying to win orders of the Switch requests. Pegatron has stationed a team near Nintendo's headquarters looking to further persuade the
Damn.
company.
They stationed a team.
That's crazy.
That's so funny. They're like, hey, we right here,
That's
homie.
crazy.
We right here. Just say that. Just say
That
the word. We
that
right
is
here.
absolutely crazy.
That
Yeah.
is hilarious. Them fools said, "Dang, send a team out."
Nintendo's stock and their product is so hot right now that a separate team is going to be stationed near Nintendo's headquarters. That is crazy.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
And since Apple's crunch time for the iPhone 8, 8S, and the iPhone 10 are over, that's why you're going to see the shipments increase, because they can actually get a hold of the parts.
That's crazy.
So like they got a team on hand. That's
On
nuts.
standby, just waiting.
So if you're wondering, why does Nintendo need to build 2 million a month? How can they possibly need that many? I'll show you why. Switch Gang is invading China, y'all. Nintendo is preparing Chinese translations of various Switch games. This can mean only one thing. They're coming. They're invading China.
Oh, is this gonna be great? Is this wonderful?
Billion-plus people ready to join the Switch Gang.
Oh my god.
So, Fire Emblem Warriors, Mario Odyssey, what is this? Snipper Clips, Mario Kart Deluxe, Xenoblade, Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, Mario Rabbids, all getting Chinese translations. This is exciting news, guys. They are breaking into Chinese market, and China only recently has allowed for gaming products from other countries to enter their country. They don't want Microsoft and Sony because their games are too violent, but they're totally okay with Nintendo. This happened too late in the Wii U's life cycle to make a difference. There was no point at that time, but the Switch, we're early in. They're definitely ramping up. They're gonna try and move into China and get a hold of those billion people. That's a lot of Switch Gang members.
And they're all about handhelds over there.
Yes, they are.
And they're gonna have that one MOBA.
Yeah, that's the reason that MOBA game from Tencent is coming over. Tencent is a huge game developer in China. That's actually the highest revenue game ever. I don't even know the name of it because it's only in China.
Yep.
And yet it makes more money than any other game.
That's so crazy. But
That's
this
crazy.
is good news. This is only good news for Nintendo. This is only good news for the rest of us because more revenue, more money, more ideas, more you know, developers from China that could bring games over to, you know, North America and Western, you know, countries and stuff like that. Like this is good. This is definitely good news. So
this is very big
we'll
news.
see
This is
how
a
it goes.
potential game changer.
Yeah. And nobody has managed to like make a foothold in the market yet over there, huh? As far
Yeah,
as,
no,
like,
there's
gaming.
no major console there.
Oh,
There's
wow.
just like these knockoff consoles because they weren't allowed to have the real ones.
So they don't even have Xbox or PlayStation.
They're not allowed to because the Chinese government considers Xbox and PlayStation to be too violent.
Too violent.
That's why essentially only Nintendo can go there.
Okay, well, see, there you go. Nintendo managed to, even with their kitty personality, they managed to slither their way into the Chinese market. So, hey, they had something going good for them.
Yeah, this is very cool news. We'll see in the coming months what comes of
Yeah,
this,
how that
but
goes.
expect to see Nintendo in China. Like, big business going on over there. A fun fact, China is now the #1 buyer of automobiles now. They surpassed America. Isn't that insane? Like, it used to be America. Like, China buys the most cars out of any country in the world. Let's move on. Rivals of Aether, whatever. Devs are. We're about to get into the port begging section of the podcast, so get ready. Rivals of Aether dev asking about Switch version interest. So, this is a guy that made that Smash Brothers knockoff game, which is a blatant knockoff, and for some reason he has to ask if Nintendo fans want a storied Nintendo franchise knockoff game on their console. What? Huh? Where else do you think the fan base
My idea
is?
is just put it the fuck on there and see what happens, or shut the hell up. Like, no, I'm not port begging, and I hope that no other Switch fans, consumers, or whatever, port beg. Like, at this point, in the Switch's life cycle, nobody should be port begging at all. If they bring it over, great. If they don't, then that's your problem, not ours.
Yeah.
We have plenty of games.
With
like,
this game specifically, you would think
he would just put
he
it
would
on
just
there.
know.
Like you don't
I don't
need to
understand
ask.
that.
It's literally a blatant knockoff.
You should be asking. You should be asking the Xbox fans.
You need to be asking Nintendo if they want that shit on there, because it being a knockoff.
Yeah. But yeah, he did a little poll on Twitter. Like almost 18,000 people voted, and 54% of people say yes, I have a Switch. So it's 18,000. So what is that? That's like 9,000 people that said they'd buy his game. I don't know. I guess that's enough for him.
How
We'll
could
see.
anybody say they don't when a lot of the reason why they even play the game is because they want a new Smash Brothers? That's crazy.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It's even more. So 54 say yes and already have a Switch, and 26 say yes, but they're buying a Switch still. So that's majority. That's like 80%.
Yeah. So
he doesn't have an excuse at this point. So there you go. I don't know why he had to ask, to be honest. Like, your game is a knockoff of a Nintendo game. Like, what the hell are you talking about? But let's move on to.
You better try to get it on there before Smash freaking 5 come out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you launch this game after Smash, don't even bother. But let's move on to quite possibly the funniest news article I've seen all week.
Oh boy.
If you were unfortunate enough to live through the Wii U and owned a Wii U, you know very well about Project Cars. You know about what they did. You know about how they stole a bunch of money from Wii U owners through a Kickstarter project, and then they ran with the money. They took that money to make Xbox One and PS4 versions of the games, which were never originally announced, and then they eventually didn't even put it on the Wii U. Because magically, they said it couldn't run on the Wii U. Those same guys, after all of that, along with Bandai Namco, where all the problems started once Bandai Namco got involved, so you have to believe it was actually Bandai Namco that did this. After all that, these guys got the grapefruits, the cojones, to actually say, if you want Project Cars 2 on the Switch, beg us.
And don't forget that after they officially announced that Project Cars wasn't coming to the Wii U, and how everybody was really, really mad at them because they had already given their money, they proceeded to go on and berate Nintendo fans and say how Nintendo fans are the worst fan base in gaming. Remember that? We didn't forget.
Nope. No, we don't want your trash. We don't want your trash. Go ahead and fight against Forzas and fucking whatever the hell else is out there. Nobody's gonna buy your trash.
Go fight against Forza and Gran Turismo Sport. You're gonna lose.
When you could have been on the Wii U, and then you could have came to the Switch with nobody to fight.
No competition other than a damn cell phone game.
Other than a cell phone game, which probably wouldn't have held a fucking candle to your game if you had did it right. But you know what? Keep that shit.
Well, let's just read their tweet real quick. So, want Project Cars 2 on the Switch? Namco Bandai asked the Switch owner community feedback on potential port.
Let me click on this shit. I'm gonna put something in here.
These guys, they gotta be
they got
insane.
some cojones
They
on them.
They got some balls.
They got some balls. They got the grapefruits, guys. Like, this is crazy. they actually.
I hope people
they're
are not
saying this with a straight face, and I'm gonna be straight up. Any single one of you that begs them for this game, you should be ashamed of yourself.
A big fucking shame.
Not so much on that Smash Brothers knockoff game, but this game, anybody that port begs them for this game should be ashamed of themselves.
How they treated you.
Yeah.
Especially how they treated you after the fact. Stole your money, ran the fuck away with it, made games for 2 other systems, then told you were garbage for the way you were acting, and you want to port bag now. And they want you to port back now? No, honey. No, darling.
But that's this little thing is gonna lead us into one of the main topics of today, which is, why is port begging going on with the Switch? What's going on here? Why is this still a thing?
Yeah, why is that a thing? It's a hot ticket item. You don't have to port beg. Just wait. It'll come. And if it doesn't, that's their problem, not yours. We have plenty of games coming. You have plenty of shit to deal with. If there's a game you're looking at and you want, either they're going to bring it or they're not. But the fact that you port beg for it isn't going to bring it any faster or not. So just don't.
The wait and see rhetoric, the port begging rhetoric is over. Bethesda killed it.
There's no reason for it. Yeah,
Bethesda killed the game.
Yeah, Bethesda killed all that wait and see nonsense. All these idiots telling you to port beg to get games and buy games you don't want. That's over. That's done.
Here's what you do. If you have another developer that pops up on Twitter or whatever, asking about, port beg and talk about, would you like to see project whatever the fuck 2080, 16, 70, 20, 64, you tell them Bethesda.
Yeah.
And you walk away. Be like, we don't port beg because Bethesda.
Yeah.
So we'll see you later.
Why would we? What's the point?
What's the point? And
like this ain't the Wii U where this ain't the Wii U where we're in drought city starving for games, or we're spoiled for choice.
Like during that time you had no choice.
We're on the hot ticket item console here. This is the console to be at. This is what people want.
Exactly.
They should be begging Nintendo to get their game on here. This is your
supplementary console. This is the console that supplements all your other gaming needs. You got your PC, you got your, your PlayStation, maybe your Xbox, whatever, and then you supplement it with your Nintendo because you can't get Nintendo anywhere else. You do not need to port beg. There's no need for it. If the game isn't coming to that system, you have other systems to play it on. Now, if Nintendo is your only system, I bleed for you, but that's just a stupid decision to make. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I don't know.
I was real tired about the damn Dreamcast in here.
Because who's talking about a Dreamcast? If you talk about a Dreamcast,
dead ass console, a dead ass company. But
eat it, don't drink.
What do you think, Nia? Why are they still asking people to port beg?
Because they think that Nintendo fans are still thirsty.
No.
Like, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately for us, but unfortunately for these companies, we're not in that place anymore.
We don't care.
When we were during the Wii U, when we were trying to operate under the Wii U drought, the struggle was 100% real. Like, we were waiting like 3 months to 6 months, like even almost a whole year for games. It ain't like that right now. I feel like a lot of these companies are so used to Nintendo fans being accustomed to third-party games not coming to the system. But Nintendo and indie games have us so covered right now, and then a sprinkle of third-party games too, have us so covered right now. We don't care. We feeling ourselves right now. We're rebellious. So we pretty much telling Bandai Namco and all these other people to eat a D because we don't need y'all right now. Like, we good.
Yeah,
we chilling. Okay,
exactly.
we're in a good place.
It's like
we are done being abused by these people.
It's simple. You either gonna bring your stuff or you're not. And if you're not bringing it, the whole port begging crap is not gonna make us ask any. It's right. We don't see the point in it.
We did it last gen is because we were so thirsty.
We were so thirsty for some games that y'all was, doing what you do, talking garbage about us, saying that we ain't worth crap. The Wii U ain't worth shit. It can't handle this, and that's cool. Yeah, most of that shit was true and cool, but now the Switch can handle this stuff. It can handle some Unreal Engine 4 and all these other different engines and stuff. It can be ported to fairly easily. There's things that needs to be optimized and stuff. Sure, there's some things missing on the Switch that we would like to see. We know it's coming, and some stuff we're not so sure about, but for the most part, as far as the games, the software, we got it. And if you're not gonna bring your game over, I'm not gonna beg you for it, honey. That's just not happening.
The time is over, and the sooner these guys figure that out, the better. Because the way it is now on the Switch, like if you're not getting in early, you're done. Because the console's getting flooded with games, and you have less and less time
to monopolize early.
And then you have people like Bethesda who are trying to create their own.
They're trying to build their audience from scratch right now because they have never been on Nintendo since like the NES.
Yeah.
So
they're like, okay, we're back in action. We gotta get our fan base, so we gotta start now. So they're like, hey,
get in where you fit in. That's really all what it boiled down to. Get in where you fit in. Get your own fan base.
The real sad part about all this is Project Cars 2 would do better on the Switch than it would on the Xbox and the PS4 because there's no competition for it.
There's no competition for them, but because of the way they did the fan base. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
Ain't nobody begging for your games. It doesn't sound
like it because from what I've heard, most people are just like, "Are you serious about the Project Cars shit? Fuck out."
Yeah, no, like ain't nobody want that shit.
Nobody cares. So even if you do bring it over, your shit's gonna stink. So, so you know what, Bandai Namco, we're good.
And it's all because it's all because they burned their bridges. Like, don't get
Oh,
it
yeah.
twisted. During the Wii U,
The only
during the
thing
Wii U, we
What's
weren't
up?
even like talking badly about the Wii because we were dissatisfied fans.
Yeah.
However, you can't be a developer
yeah,
who
talking
takes the Wii U sad situation, which it was, and
right.
tries to find a way to flip that on its head to kind of get you some kind of like notoriety or try to make it seem like you're bigger than, because when that moment is over and the next generation has begun, which it has, people
Right.
will remember that. You can't straight up say, oh, well, yeah, we took your money, and the fact that you're acting so crappy about it, that makes you the worst fan base in gaming. You can't say stuff like that and expect people to get the second entry in your game.
You know what? I would
You know
love
what?
it for somebody
Apparently,
to
like,
dig,
this is
I
not
would love somebody
even.
to dig that up and just like retweet them
And just
that
tweet
on
it to
what
them,
they
like,
said.
yo, go shut your
Just
ass
be
up.
like, remember this? Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that.
And Nintendo fans are like elephants. We remember every slight.
We
There,
put
this is not even the only game that Bandai Namco is attached to that's actually requesting port backing. There's some other game
Yeah.
they're releasing that they're doing the same thing.
Mhm.
All
So-
they have to do right now is literally bring what's that game? The fucking Dragon Ball Fighters, whatever. Just
Yeah.
bring that over. That's what you need to bridge your gap. You bring that over without asking us to port bag for it. Just bring it the fuck over. Like, bam, it's
That
here.
would have been a good little piece off.
Yeah.
We'll take that as a piece off and be like, oh, okay, you're trying to bridge some gaps, you're trying to make amends, apologize, it's cool. But you asking us to port bag for a game you stole money from us and then called us garbage? Like,
Yeah, not a good look, fellas.
Not a good
Not
look.
good
fellas.
look.
You have one way of
Not a
fixing
look good.
this.
Not
One
a
and
good
only
look.
one way and one way only. So if you're not gonna do it, guess what? Get the fuck on, beat feet.
Ain't nobody working. Ain't nobody rocking with it. Man.
Ain't nobody
care.
wants your
You
game.
got
Get
one
out of
thing
here.
to do, and you know what it is. So,
But let's
Yes.
sum this up. These guys are crooks. Bandai Namco are out their damn minds. And the time for port backing is over. Wait and see time is
we're not
over.
doing it no more.
Bethesda killed the game.
So let's go ahead and take Pac-Man out of Smash Bros.
Yeah,
Yep.
take Pac-Man out, kick his ass,
Bandai Namco wanna be like that.
slap,
Take him on
send
out,
him
put
back
on
crying to
side.
Miss Pac-Man. She can have him back. We don't want him.
Here you go. Put his ass on that DLC list for 500 fucking bucks. Ain't nobody gonna buy that.
Ain't nobody want Pac-Man. We got this guy. Doom guy's coming. We didn't even ask for him. He's coming.
Right? Smash. We got Doom Guy coming to Smash. That would be so awesome if he literally was in Smash.
That'd be
Doom guy in
crazy.
Smash.
If they put Doom Guy in Smash, I would laugh.
Called Doom guy.
And that's
But,
his name, Doom.
Yeah, port begging, guys. Stop doing it. You don't need to.
There's no need.
You
No
don't.
need, no.
There's no need. The console's hot. People want it. It's easy to port to. If they're gonna bring the games, they're gonna bring the
Yeah.
games.
If you're as long as you're playing your games and enjoying your time, you ain't got time to beg for nothing else right now. Like, I've seen a lot of people on the Switch just pop up on the Switch when I'm playing my games, and
You
that's
know,
great to see.
all
So,
those games that Real just said that can eat a dick. You know he's gonna buy all those games, right?
yeah, well, yeah, we know.
But let's move on to major topic number 2:
Oh boy.
loot crates. Oh god, loot crates.
I honestly almost don't want to talk about it.
We
It's
gotta
just such
talk
a
about it.
drag.
People
Such a
have to
drag.
talk about this stuff because it's
Fuck it.
getting
we have
out
to
of
talk about
hand.
it to make it aware, but
Yes.
it's gambling. Period to me.
So we're gonna talk about Star Wars Battlefront 2. We're gonna use this game as an example. There are other games launching with this.
Right.
Forza 7, Assassin's Creed Origins, Shadow of War just came out today. That's riddled with them. But Star Wars Battlefront 2, possibly the most egregious out of all of them. So loot crates. What are loot crates? Loot crates are boxes that give you randomized items, costumes, power-ups, whatever the developers decide to put in there, where you either pay money or you use in-game credits to buy it, and then you don't decide what you get out of the crate. It's randomized. So that's essentially gambling. This game has one of the worst case uses I've ever seen. There are power-ups in this game that you can only get through a loot crate, which, for example, we're going to use Boba Fett here. There's a power-up where Boba Fett can be essentially invincible. He takes 100% damage reduction with this power-up that you can only get through a loot crate, which is randomized, and you can only get this loot crate with either money or in-game currency. The problem is the in-game currency is so hard to grind for. It takes about 6 hours to get about 180 material, and you need about, I think it was 600 material. So that's that's a lot of hours to even have the chance of getting this item. Whereas a person like Real, I'm gonna use Real as an example, who is gonna spend $2 or buy a loot crate. Ah, I didn't get it. Spend another $2. Ah, I didn't get it. Spend another $2. Hey, I got it. And he can do that within a couple minutes.
That's gambling for real.
That's gambling. And then he has an automatic advantage because he now takes 100% less damage when he's using his special in midair. This is rampant because it's not just cosmetics anymore. We're talking about gameplay changing items that are being bought by randomized boxes through essentially gambling. And I'm happy a lot of big YouTubers are talking about this. Angry Joe was talking about this. Total Biscuit was talking about it. There's some other guys as well.
Was talking about it too.
Yeah. But there are sites that are trying to downplay this. There's obviously there's corporate slave people out here who are downplaying it. Like IGN people in the comment section. That's not a bad deal. It's totally optional. It's totally optional. It's not optional, guys.
It started off optional back in the day, but that was the gateway drug into what you're seeing right now. This
optional stuff is like Overwatch. Overwatch, all the items are cosmetic.
Yeah, nothing messes with your gameplay.
Overwatch popularized this. Overwatch did not start loot crates, don't get it twisted. But Overwatch popularized this and made it normal. At least Overwatch doesn't give you specific guns, it's just costumes. So that's cool. That could always change. Hopefully it doesn't, but
I hope it stays
I'll leave it to EA to really take the worst out of this, because Battlefront 2, honestly, they were doing a great job. They said no season pass this time. We're gonna give you a full campaign this time. All the DLC is free this time, and then they do this, and it is so bad, guys. Like it
isn't there. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go.
Isn't there like something that they're doing in Shadow of War where you have to basically get something out of the loot box to beat the game or something like that?
Yeah, in Shadow of War, we'll talk about Shadow of War for a bit, because theirs is pretty bad too. You need to actually finish the game. After you beat the campaign, you have to do these castle raids. You got to take over specific castles to get to the credits. But to get these castles, you need legendary orcs. And the way to get legendary orcs is through loot boxes. Now, you can find them in the game, but they're extremely rare. Whereas in this loot box, you can buy the loot box and you're guaranteed a legendary orc.
Wow.
And you need this guy, otherwise you cannot beat that castle. It's for whatever reason, that's how the game mechanic is set up. So
remember,
this is to beat the game.
To beat the game. This is to get to the end credits.
I have a caveat to that, but remember, in their interview, when they asked, is it gonna have anything to do with the gameplay itself? Remember, they said they turned off this feature to test the game, make sure nothing happened. You turn the feature back on and, oh, surprise, you need legendary orcs to unlock the true ending to your fucking game. Excuse me?
They pulled this the last time with Shadow of Mordor, where it had a bad ending, and then they sold you the real ending as DLC. But this is even worse, because now you have to essentially get the loot box, unless you grind for hours and hours and hours and try to find that legendary orc. But otherwise, you spend I think it's like $5, and then you get a legendary orc guaranteed in a chest. So that's pretty bad, guys.
First of all, why are you getting orcs out of a loot box? There's no canon reason, Modest, but it's, I don't know. It's just stupid, and this is just like this practice. We saw it popularized by Overwatch. We saw it brought into play from the free-to-play perspective of mobile gaming and stuff. And obviously, North America, America more in general, has to do stuff bigger and better, obviously, because greedy motherfuckers. But
okay. Well, I have the breakdowns when you're done there.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so there are silver chests, which are purchased from in-game money. These cost 1,500 Mirian, which is the currency in the game. That'll give you a new orc, a regular orc, and at least one of your followers will be an epic orc, will turn to epic. On top of that, you'll get a consumable. Now, the gold war chest is the one you buy with money. That's 200 gold, and that'll give you 3 new orcs, and then one of them will be a legendary. and at least 2 of them will be epic. So you get obviously a lot better stuff there, because you do need this legendary guy to beat the game. So it's pretty bad. It's totally unnecessary. Like the way I feel is, if you want to buy these boxes, that's cool. Like, go ahead, do what you want. But I don't like how the companies are forcing the grinding on people that don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't have to play an extra 30 hours of grinding to get something that you spent like $5 on. That's wild. That's insane.
That's why I don't. That's one of the main reasons why I don't like these loot crates, is because they're building these games with this system in mind. And
yeah.
Sure, they say they might test it with it off and all that stuff, but it doesn't matter. Once you turn
it's all
on
there.
the Switch, yeah, once you turn on the Switch, all of the schematics and things that they've worked on to make sure that you have to grind extra hard in order to unlock the specific necessary.
Yeah, like Forza 7 has loot boxes now. Inside Forza 7 loot boxes are stuff that you used to unlock for free even in Forza 6. But now they're locked behind loot boxes, and now you have to pay for them. So
now you got to pay for them. And
there's a breakdown of the pricing for these gold. So 500 gold is the smallest amount you can buy, and that's €4. So I guess that's like $5 or $6.
$5, yeah.
And then there's one for people that are insane. That's 10,000 gold, and that's €80. That's for crazy people, and that'll give you 2,000 gold. So you spend $80 real to get 2,000 in-game gold to buy loot chests to get orcs to beat the game.
Yeah. And what irritates me the most is that they made this loot box system is mainly put into place so they can catch the whales.
Yeah, like
it's not for us everyday people who might spend $1 or $2 here and there.
The really scary part about these loot boxes is even if 90% of us say fuck this game, we're not buying it. But the 10% of people that buy it are the ones that want the microtransactions and spend endless money on microtransactions. These people are called whales. Yeah. These people are a gold mine. The term comes from cell phone gaming. Whales are where the microtransactions flock to in cell phone games. They can survive off whales alone. So 10% of the fan base on microtransactions is just as good as 100% buying the game and no DLC or anything.
That's crazy.
Which is scary.
Which is freaking annoying.
Because that means this stuff's not going away. It doesn't matter like how much we talk about it, like how much we inform people. This stuff's not going away. Because for some reason, like the whales are moving over to real games.
To freaking real games.
I don't know why they won't just stay on their cell phone games.
Or stay on these free-to-play MMOs on PC.
Yeah, stay on the free-to-play games.
That's what I wanted to bring the concept of. Do you think this stuff needs to go to Parliament or to Congress or something to put in actual like.
There should be regulations, because this is gambling.
This is gambling now.
Because you're using real world money.
That still play video games.
Yeah. Because you're using real world money, and there's no guarantee of what you're getting.
Yeah, and you're not getting anything of any real value back. It's just virtual value. And
the only like loophole they have here is that they promise you'll get a legendary orc. They just don't tell you which one. So technically they can get around it, I guess, but this is terrible.
It's still gambling.
It's still gambling because it's random.
It's still gambling because it's RNG. You're getting a randomized item.
Yeah, it's a randomized item.
Like with the one thing, like I would understand if they had it set up. Like I said, I'm going back to Overwatch because they have a good example, but also it is like I said, gateway to this bullshit.
Yeah.
So in Overwatch, you have obviously it's all cosmetics. However, if you get a duplicate, you get some cash, in-game credit, and you can take that credit to purchase what you actually want. But you don't get a lot of credit, which is also bad. But if these games had it set up in that same sense where you could still purchase exactly what the fuck you want with the money that you get, like say you get a duplicate of something, you get an extra little credit back, and you can take that extra credit you collect over the course of time or whatever to purchase whatever orc you want or whatever you need from any of the game. Then you could probably say it's not technically gambling because you can still purchase what you want, or you could purchase the in-game credit with real world money and then purchase the item you want. They don't have it set like that because they know if people get what they want, they're not gonna constantly spend money.
They're not exactly
for the roles. So they say, hey, no, we're not gonna put that in there. You have to purchase money to get a chance at what you want, as opposed to purchasing money to get the credit to purchase what you want. So this is gambling.
Yeah, it's pretty much gambling.
And it needs
It's
to be
just like
regulated.
be careful, people. Like if you want Star Wars Battlefront 2, just be aware you're gonna lose when you go online. Because you're not gonna be able to beat the people that have the upgraded items. Because that's just what it is. This game is designed to be pay. It's pay to win.
Yeah.
It's not a skill-based game anymore.
It's not a skill-based game. It is about pay to win. Whoever has the most money is willing to
That's why
shell
this
out
is the worst example so far.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the very least, with Shadow of War, that's a single-player game. You're not affecting other people. Yeah. This is mainly an online game, and you're having a way to have an advantage just because you're paying more money. That's not right.
But still,
that's not fun for anybody.
It's not fun for anybody. You're actively ruining fun for other people.
Yeah, it's like, well, they have a choice.
It's just like set up to where you have to have these things to beat the game. Like, that's still pretty bad.
Oh yeah, the other one's still bad. I'm just saying this affects more people.
But like when you put it online, when you make it also an online thing as well as like just the single player. Like first of all, why is any single player game got loot boxes in it to begin with? That should not be a fucking thing. But okay, they shoehorned in some kind of online, what do they call it, board or something. And they shoehorned some kind of online system for Shadow of War simply to justify the loot boxes, so they could hopefully get those whales.
It's terrible.
And it's like, it's terrible, and it just dappers your mood. It makes the excitement of the people that I have seen online who were so gung-ho about these games are just tired and drained.
I'm one of them. These two games I was so excited for.
Yeah, I remember you were super excited for Shadow of War.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor is like one of my favorite games.
And after you heard about that stuff, you were just like, I just don't want it anymore. And then you wonder why people go and rent games and go to go to freaking GameFly and stuff like that, or pre-order, or not pre-order, but buy the game, used or some stuff like that. Like, this is why nobody has time for all this extra shit, because these companies are trying to make extra money because they're spending astronomical amounts of money making a game that doesn't need to be a blockbuster fucking hit. This is not Hollywood.
Yeah, and guys, I just wanna stop this whole argument of games are $60 but they're getting more expensive. You guys gotta understand, they're not giving you the full game anymore.
They're not giving you full games.
They're giving you a portion of the game.
You get a standard version, and then you get a silver version, then you get gold, and then you get microtransactions and DLCs and pre-order bonuses and special Landiparous, modes and stuff, and collector's editions. Look at all the different editions of one fucking game you can get out there.
Yeah, just Assassin's Creed has like 10 editions.
I will say this though. I will say this though in response to that. How you can't use the whole games are getting more expensive because they're not giving you whole games anymore. Well, I'm gonna say that that's the reason why they're not giving you whole games anymore is because the games are so expensive. And like, a lot of people don't like to acknowledge this, but like, and this is something that is not even new to Team Red, because this is something that Team Red has pretty much been saying since the beginning. The reason why Nintendo does not do quote unquote graphics anymore is because of this. Games are becoming so expensive to make, and at the end of the day, Nintendo is all about increasing their profit margin. So while these people are going bankrupt and doing the most trying to make these games at Hollywood movie budgets, gamers are suffering, because either the gamers are going to suffer, which is basically what happened now, or somebody's going bankrupt like THQ did, or something's gonna happen where, like at Deep Silver just a couple of weeks ago, they had to lay off a lot of people. Something's gotta give at some point. And
somebody gotta watch their
these guys need to manage their budgets more. Not every game needs to be a Destiny.
Like, you got games like freaking Hellblade, who are like low-key, that was a AAA title to me.
Hellblade gave you a AAA experience for $30. No DLC, no microtransactions, no loot boxes, just a really good game for $30.
And that's the reason why I don't really get mad at Nintendo anymore for not trying to compete with the likes of
There's no point.
There's no point. I see now why they don't. Because they understood real early on.
That's why their games are profitable even if they don't sell like like 20 million. Like they're still super
like,
profitable.
Nintendo can make a game and that joint can sell like 1 million, 2 million, and still make like a lot of money. There are some people who make games, they sell 1 or 2 million,
and it's not good enough.
But like,
remember the Tomb Raider reboot that they did in 2014 when they sold like 7 million copies?
And they weren't happy.
It's not enough. Like, what? That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's on them because they made a whole new engine. They went and did all this stupid hair physics nonsense, which cost them a fortune.
Yeah.
But I'll take your argument. I'll raise you Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is one of the biggest games, one of the most beautiful games, one of the most content-heavy games ever released.
Very much so.
And it released at $60. It gave a shit ton of free DLC, and then it eventually gave out another DLC, which was almost as big as the main game.
Because they know how to manage their money. Because, you know, one thing that we have to remember about CD Projekt Red especially, they're an indie company through and through. Like, at the heart of their company... They're indie, so they have built their company on being conservative with their money and spending it wisely. These bigger companies, they're so big for their britches that they're just going balls to the wall with these games, and like people are paying for it, whether it's the people that their company or it's us. And it's like, what's gonna give?
Where's your management at? But I want to just throw something else out there. CD Projekt Red is also a company that has a lot of issues internally in their company, but they're still managing to give you all this great gameplay, and they still have a lot of internal strife going on in their company. Like, I've been reading up on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, what's going on with them?
They're managing.
Apparently they're not a good place to work at.
They're not a very good company to work with.
Because they're too tight or something? Or
it's a lot of stupid shit. Like, I'll show you a link or something when I can find it again. But like, it's a lot of crazy stuff. But like, even with all that, they somehow managed to, to get their game out there, to do a great job. And they're not getting raises, they're not getting paid as best as they could. They're not doing a lot of things. Maybe it is why.
We gotta implement microtransactions to pay our employees.
Right? But like, even so, despite all that, they're managing to give you a great game. And I'm just like, and then you got Hellblade, like I said, and then there's other various indie games that
you got stuff like Cuphead, $20,
Cuphead,
fantastic experience.
That's not a AAA title.
And I guarantee you, if you look back at Cuphead in 5 years, and you look back at Shadow of War in 5 years, Cuphead's gonna look like the better game visually.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna shine brightest.
Yeah.
It is.
It's the same reason why Wind Waker on the GameCube still looks good, because art style always beats realistic graphics.
And tight gameplay, don't forget.
Yep, and tight gameplay, of course. But let's move on. There's one thing I wanted to talk about, which is gonna relate to, because you're probably wondering why we talk about loot crates. Nintendo ain't got no loot crates, and that's because I wanted to kind of boast about some Super Mario Odyssey for a minute. Super Mario Odyssey amiibo content is unlockable without the amiibo. So in a world where every game coming out is inundating us with microtransactions and loot boxes and ridiculous anti-consumer practices, Super Mario's like, fuck it. You want the costumes? You don't need this amazing wedding Mario amiibo. You can unlock it yourself. That's really cool, and I'm happy they did this, because I know there's a lot of people who don't have a giant amiibo wall like I do, and don't care for amiibo. I don't buy them for the content. I buy them to put on a wall.
Oh, wow.
But
every single last one of your amiibo works with this game.
Yeah, every single amiibo will work with this game. But if you don't have amiibo, you can actually unlock all the content regardless. So that's pretty cool, and I thought that was just a really funny thing to happen in all of this loot crate nonsense that's going on. Nintendo is the one to be like, don't buy our amiibo, whatever.
If only they would have done the same thing for Samus Returns and Mario Party 10, because that was some nonsense.
Yes. There are times where they go overboard with the amiibo, and then we give them the backhand, as we always do. But this is one of the cases where they did a great job.
And I hope they continue this, because this is awesome.
We gave them the backhand, they're holding their cheek, and they're rethinking their
because I think they finally realized most people are buying this for collecting.
Yeah, they probably did.
They realized it. They're like, okay, people aren't buying these things because
look how many of those things I have that are still in the box.
I mean,
you can't use these things in the box.
I just won't open. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I will not open my Yarn Yoshi joints.
Yeah.
I've been open those.
I got those.
I just can't do it.
I like them when I like them yarn Yoshis out.
I haven't opened up my Wolf Link either.
I got him. He's over there.
I have one closed and I have one open. My friend of mine gave me an extra one, so I was like.
But yeah, I'm gonna look through the questions while you guys are talking here.
I have a quick question I want to ask you guys
in our personal Discord chat.
What's up?
Okay, but I want to ask you something real quick.
I put some down in the Discord chat.
Oh, I gotta look at it on my phone then.
So like, my thing is, do you think that it would benefit gamers if?
Whoops. If what? Did she disappear?
What just happened?
Okay. She just like evaporated. Does Mario Odyssey look suspiciously ashy? I don't know what you were looking at.
What does that even mean?
Like,
wow, that was
not
funny.
clear, I guess. No, man. Mario Odyssey is a beautiful game. I don't know what game you're looking at.
Hmm?
I'm talking to the guy in the chat.
Oh, or somehow I got booted out of the chat. It just said, get out.
But what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, do you think it'll benefit us to have some kind of laws put into place against like the loot box system, since it's like a form of gambling? Like,
yeah, of course. If they have regulations, heavy, then it'll be better.
Yeah. Do you think they will ever get to that point or no?
They would eventually have to, I think. Because aren't they already? They're already doing that in Europe, right?
Yeah, because they got a petition up already, and then there's some sprinkled across across our areas and stuff in North America, but
it takes time because like these laws take a while.
It's gonna take time, and the fact that we got children that do play on the systems like these and stuff, you can't just be doing
just because your game says rated M doesn't mean there aren't kids playing it.
I think what they need to do is have the ESRB get involved as well, because it should have gambling on there, so it should be an M-rated game if it has loot crates.
It should be automatically.
It should be automatically M-rated.
Cause like Destiny's a T-rated game, right?
Yeah.
Destiny's T-rated, but they have loot boxes. That's gambling.
Yeah, loot boxes. That's what I'm saying. So like, if they have it where the ESRB gets involved and they say, yeah, if you have loot crates, it's M-rated. A lot of these companies don't like the M rating because they can't get across the wide spectrum of people. Yeah. You know, so they're gonna have to either get rid of the loot crates, loot boxes or whatever, or they'll have to implement some other kind of format, or just, forego it altogether. So hopefully, maybe that might be a thing later on down the road where it just makes it automatic M rating.
I got some questions.
Has anyone seen the Super Mario Odyssey musical trailer? Yes,
not yet.
I watched it just before we started here, and it was amazing. I love Nintendo for stuff like that.
Yeah, Nintendo's the only company that do stuff like that. I thought it was cute. I mean, it's not like the greatest thing in the world.
It was so fun.
I think that they've done a good job with Mario, though, in the way that they've been.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey is just—it's gonna be so much fun. You can just tell every time they show it, it's something fun going on.
Yeah, it was cute. I have a question from Hello.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, what?
I have a question from Matthew Pipes.
Mm-hmm.
He says, do y'all think that Nintendo should stick with a portable hybrid idea, or should they go back to making standard consoles, and why?
Why does someone ask this every week? Yes, hybrids.
I feel like they ask this every week, and I feel like we've
been pretty clear about this. Yes, hybrid is their future.
Hybrid is their future. If they go back on that, then they're dead in the water.
Yeah, they can't survive in a console-only market anymore.
Yeah,
that's been pretty damn clear.
It's very obvious.
Yeah, they need to merge their market. It's working. Of course it does. Of course it is. Let's see. What the hell is going on in this chat? Real's still talking about Dreamcast for some reason. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that guy. Was Pauline 100% real in that Mario Odyssey trailer? I only watched it once, so I'm not sure.
Those were real.
She was real, right?
The person who wasn't real
was Mario. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Did any of you try Mario Odyssey demo at Best Buy? I did. It was awesome. Do the Tonys or Grammys nominate video game music?
No,
not
I don't
that
think
I'm aware of.
I don't think they do.
No, they don't.
We're having the Video Game Awards this year again, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I hope they get it right this time. I feel like they get a little bit better every time.
I feel like that too. They're trying.
They're
to make
trying.
It classy,
Like people
make it a
shit on
real
them
thing.
so much, but like that dude is
Yeah.
trying.
He's trying. He's trying.
Did you guys watch the Nintendo World Championships? I caught a bit of it. I was
didn't
working,
get to
so
watch it. I was sleeping
that
because I
shit
had
was
work.
5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
You know what? Even though I didn't get to watch it, I like when Nintendo does stuff like that.
I'm happy
have
they
to
do
say
it.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a little scuffle going on in here about piracy. I'm just gonna let you know right now. There is a little thing going on. It's Unforgiven and Legends. There's a thing. I forgot the lady's name. She's some lady in Parliament or whatever. And there was a
Piracy leads to
test-
more game sales.
No, yeah, it does. It was a test already put out, votes, whatever, and they found out that piracy actually leads to more sales of games. So it's not the problem, and that's not why.
Yeah,
we're
and
getting
they
DLC
tried to
and digital
bury that
content.
information too.
They were trying to bury that information because they found out it to be true, and they were like, "Oh crap, this isn't working for our agenda." So I just wanted to kind of quell that little argument
And
going on in there.
The
'Cause I was just like,
reason
what?
the reason piracy leads to more game sales now is because there are no longer game demos for every game. You used to be able to get a demo for every game so you can see if you like it. People pirate games to see if they like the game, and if they like it, they buy it.
True.
It's
That's the
true.
reason.
That's
That's
the reason.
true.
They pirate it, and then they end up buying.
They
the
end
game
up
because they
buying
wanna
it.
Support the game.
Like it's been
Most
proven that
people are-
piracy leads to more game sales.
Yeah. And most pirates that are out there, that are the evil type of pirates, those people aren't.
Those
making much
people
of
are a
difference
minority.
in the game. Yeah, they're very, very.
Most
small
people
minded.
that pirate games eventually buy the game.
Like
Yeah.
everything I've ever pirated, I bought because I liked it.
It's the only way to see if you like a game anymore because they
Like
don't
I
give you that
can't
many
get a
demos.
freaking demo to save my damn life or
Yeah.
a beta code or nothing. So I'll download it, play it, and if I like it, I'll support the game because I think that's the best way for the companies to get their money back if you support it.
I don't know why these companies are scared to give out demos.
Yeah.
You're not
There's-
confident in your product.
Well, they're not confident in their product, so most of the time they
Yeah.
give it to their little, corporate slave heads and tell them to, sell
But
it to them.
to go back to the question, I saw parts of the Nintendo World Championship. It was better than the last one, for sure. I thought that the game choices were a lot better, except for Splatoon, which was weirdly boring. And that stupid bird bean game, that was kind of dumb. But it was fun. From what I watched, it was a lot better this time. I did not enjoy the Nintendo World Championships last time. Only Mario Maker was cool.
Yeah, Mario Maker was definitely the
Yeah.
highlight of that one.
But this
I can
time
go
was
back
a
and
lot
look
better.
at the highlights for this one because I missed that one. This isn't really a question, just a side note. This isn't
Yeah.
really a question. It's a comment from Tony Kaname Curon. He says Xenoblade Chronicles was too late to be nominated at the last one, but Xenoblade 2
Yeah.
is coming out just in time. If Xenoblade 2 is not nominated for RPG of the Year, I'm gonna have a fit.
Wait, does Witcher have any more DLC though?
I mean, because
You were
it
salty
wins
for like a week about that.
Oh, that's stupid to me. How does fucking DLC get freaking no? Stop.
So bad.
was so
Let's see. Do you think the Reggie? I don't talk about Reggie. Fuck Reggie. Let's see. No questions about Reggie. Golf Story versus Stardew Valley. I haven't played either, so you guys gotta go on this one.
I
I guess.
haven't played Stardew Valley, and she hasn't played Golf Story, so that's not really
There.
anything.
All right, buy both. There you go. Who's looking forward to Skyrim Switch next month? Y'all better support Bethesda and the Big N.
I think I'm gonna hit Bethesda for the next
damn
one.
Skyrim. I don't like that damn game. I don't care. Who
I'm hitting them up with the next one. I don't know about this one.
I'm gonna put it to you this way. That
I want
game's
their
that
current
game's
one.
been
Let me put it
out.
to you this way.
Let me put it to you this way. That game's been out for 6 years and on 7 or 8 platforms, and I've never bought it. Why would I buy it now?
Right? Well, I'm not-
Exactly. That's kind of how I feel.
That's how I
haven't
feel.
touched it,
If
and
I had
I'm
any
now.
interest in Skyrim, I would have bought it already.
Right.
But for those of you who want Skyrim on Switch, it's coming soon.
Power to
Let's
you.
see.
Go ahead and support it.
Let's see. What else is here? You guys talk about the most random ass shit in this chat. I never know what the
Oh,
hell's
yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Couple of questions.
This chat don't care. Go ahead.
Muhammad Alavi said, "Will we see a Mario Kart 9 or Smash 5 this gen, or will there just be enhanced ports?"
I would actually be okay with Mario Kart 8 just getting more DLC. I don't
Me
need a
too.
whole new game.
I don't need a Mario
do
Kart
too.
9.
I
Yeah,
don't need a 9. They could add to it as long as it stays free.
because like I don't want to spend another $80 on Mario Kart when they can just add
another
DLC to this existing
Yeah,
one.
just add DLC to 8 Deluxe, or for Smash. I guess they could come out with a new Smash, because Smash fans are so fickle.
My thing
Give
is
them a
either
new
they
game.
bring
Yeah.
if they bring the current Smash over with a deluxe and a
Maybe
bigger
more
variety
content.
of more content, more characters or something, or they make a whole new one and they can get rid of the ice climbers again, or bring the ice climbers back this time.
Just, you know what? Bring over Smash 4.
And
Yeah.
Bring over
people
the
that
ice
couldn't-
climbers.
Yeah, bring over the people that couldn't handle because of the 3DS.
You know what they could do? They could make a super deluxe edition where they add the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch.
That'd be cool.
Wii U
Yeah.
content in
Because like the
one
3DS has
bundle
different
and sell
different
it.
maps,
That would
right?
work. Yeah,
That would be
nice.
perfect.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then we can
That
also
would
get
be like
Doom
the
Guy as
ultimate
well.
version of Smash. Yeah, Doom Guy.
Oh my
Then
god,
we can
this
go ahead and get rid of
this
Pac-Man.
freaking guy, man. Cuphead Indie Game of the Year, Halo Wars 2 Strategy Game of the Year, Forza 7 Racing Sports Game of the Year. This dude is obsessed with Xbox.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
let's see. Demos need to
That's
come
too
back.
bad
Yes, they
Xbox
do.
Not the game of the year.
If you really believe that can get ready for a price hike in games, you think you pirates. Like, this guy just doesn't get it.
Whatever. I don't care about that guy.
So-
Alright, it's time to wrap this up.
Alright, whatever. I don't see any more questions. You guys are just
There's
talking about
nothing
random
here.
ass shit. What's the
There's
hate for
nothing
Reggie?
here, I can
Reggie
tell you
sucks
that.
at his job. That's the hate for Reggie. He's a useless man. But we're gonna end it there. Yeah, I don't know if we want to do a recap. We talked about so much shit. But we'll be back on Monday for Mario Kart 8 Madness. And this was a good show. We had a lot of good topics today.
Hopefully
I
I'm
feel.
actually there this time. I actually planned on playing yesterday, but
Yeah,
anyway,
somebody
I can go
decided
to
to
freaking-
randomly
Like
go
you,
grocery
right?
shopping
Just
during
randomly.
Mario Kart 8
usually
Madness.
go grocery shopping on Mondays, but we've been
Ain't
missing
nobody go grocery shopping on
Shopping on no
Mondays.
Monday.
That's
Yeah,
what
no, I don't-
weekends are for.
Right?
What do I do on weekends, Alex?
You go
can
to the
still go
grocery.
I go to work and I sleep because I work overnight for 12 hours.
Well,
That's why we don't go on the weekends.
terrible. Alright, well, whatever. We're out of here, people. We'll see you on
Yes,
Monday. And yes, make sure to hit like, share, spread this podcast, people. I want more people to watch it because this is the best Nintendo podcast on the internet. Alright, see you later.
Agreed. Peace out.